Hello guys, and welcome back to the KillerHERTZ channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to do a basic DIY alloy wheel refurb. Now note that I said basic. If your wheels have got some really bad curbing in them, then you're going to need to get those done professionally. So the wheel that I'm going to work on today isn't too bad, as you can see. Just some typical minor curbing around the edges, some minor paint peeling here and there, and some corrosion around the centre cap and also the valve cap. Okay, so let's run through all the little bits and pieces you're going to need to purchase for this DIY refurb. Now starting with the very basic, you're going to need to get yourself some decent quality masking tape, such as this 3M blue tape here. The trouble is, you buy the cheap stuff, all the paint, the lacquer and everything, it's just going to run under it, and then when you remove it, it's going to look terrible, and more likely than not, you're going to need to redo the whole thing again. So yeah, get yourself some decent quality tape. And moving on, get yourself some primer, and then depending what colour wheels you want, like silver for example, I went with the Mercedes Brilliant Silver spray paint. This is the internal model code 744, which I found to be a perfect match. But of course, if you want black wheels or gunmetal grey, then you need to get the relevant colours and so on. And then not forgetting, you need to get yourself some clear lacquer or top coat. I recommend probably 2 or 3 cans of that, just to layer it up, get a good quality finish. And then depending if your wheels have got any kind of little pits or any sort of little marks in them, get yourself some of this alloy wheel filler. Different versions you can get available for this. If you look inside the box on this one, see little pouches and so on. You've got the hardener and the filler. You mix them together, golf ball with a pea size and so on. Mix them, smooth them out, and then you'll sand them and so on. But yeah, just follow the instructions on the box. And then last but not least, you need to get yourself some decent sandpaper. Now I'm going for the 400 grade on this. Depending how bad your wheels are, you may need some different versions of that. But yeah, I'm sticking with 400. So yeah, again, don't forget the good quality masking tape. Okay, so just before I start working, I'll have a quick look at the actual damage in question. It's only really little kind of minor little paint chips around the edges. Nothing too major. And then you've got a few little marks in the center. Around the valve cap, you've got a little bit of corrosion, and also around the center cap, but there's nothing too bad. Now if your wheel's got, as I said before, when you major issues with it, you will need to get that done professionally. This video is just a basic refurb that you can do at home. Yep, it's the time you've been dreading. You're going to have to go and sand this down. Now this took me the best part of an hour. I can't stress enough that you can't rush this. You need to take your time. Make sure that you cover every single little nook and cranny on the wheel, so it's all kind of got like a scratched surface. Nothing needs to be shiny. If you leave anything shiny, the paint or the lacquer won't stick to it, and you'll have to start sanding it all over again. Okay, so once you finish, you're going to end up with a wheel looking something like this. Now note it's kind of got the actual aluminium kind of look to it. Most of the paint is gone. Every little surface that I've had to go at, this takes absolutely ages to get a decent finish. But yeah, if you look around here now by the valve cap, you can see I've completely smoothed that off. There's a bit of kind of rust or corrosion there before. It doesn't look it here, but it's completely smooth to the touch. But yeah, basically the longer you spend on this, the better the final finish will be. Once you've finished all the sanding, you need to go over the wheel with an alcohol wipe to ensure that all little bits and dust and contaminants are missing. Otherwise this will come through on any subsequent layers that you paint. Right, so the wheel should now be totally clean, ready for you to start applying the primer. Now primer is extremely important as it provides a level surface for the paint to stick to, and I recommend spraying at least 2 coats, allowing 30 minutes between each one. And then once you've applied a couple of coats and allowed for it to totally dry, it should look something like this. Now that your wheel has been covered in a couple of coats of primer and you've allowed at least 24 hours for it to fully dry, it's now time for you to finally spray paint the wheel. Same process as before. Take your time with very slow, steady sprays, making sure not to stay on the same section for too long. Now I recommend at least 4 coats with 30 minutes between each one. So this is what mine looks like after 4 coats. Now you may still see tiny little imperfections. These should however disappear after a couple of coats of lacquer, which is coming up in the next process. Once another 24 hours has passed, you'll be ready for the lacquer top coat process. Now this is the trickiest part of the entire refurb, as it's very easy to get completely wrong. It's extremely important that you use a quick, steady spraying technique and avoid stopping and spraying in one area for more than a second. If you do, you'll start getting dripping occurring, which will require you to start the entire process back from the primer stage once again. And again, remember to leave at least 30 minutes between coats. As you build up the different layers, you'll notice that the wheel starts looking quite reflective and gets a real proper nice sheen to it. And on that subject, once you've finished the wheel, leave it over 24 hours to dry, and then you're going to need to get some cutting paste on it to get the wheel looking absolutely perfect. You now have 2 choices on how you can apply the cutting paste to the alloy wheel. You can do it manually by hand and use a hell of a lot of elbow grease, or you can use something like this, dual action sander with a cutting pad such as this one. I'm using the small pad to get into all the little nooks and crannies. Now I've used the compound, which is Menzerner, I think that's how you pronounce it, heavy cut compound, decent heavy duty 400 grade stuff, and then once I finish with that, I've used some Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. Take your time polishing out every single surface, remembering to keep the pad wet at all times so you avoid burning the paint surface. Right, so here's the final result after a few hours of work. Lucky we've been having some amazing weather here in the UK, so this sunlight is absolutely perfect for showing off the wheel. Again, as I've stated throughout this video, this is just a DIY basic refurb job that anyone's able to complete at home themselves. It's not in any way intending to compete with a professional job, and hopefully it's just giving you the confidence to have a go if you're wondering about this yourself. Now, the key thing to remember is the more time you spend on the preparation work, the better the overall result is. And also remember to allow at least 24 hours between the different coats, between the lacquer, the main coat and the primer. So that brings us to the end of this how-to guide. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon to be notified as soon as I upload any new videos. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, cheers.